Hello again, everyone. Edwin Leonard back once again. In this YouTube segment, we're going to be talking about Typhoon Ulysses, otherwise known as Vamco, Typhoon Vamco. It's known as Typhoon Ulysses in the Philippines, but I say virtually everywhere else, I believe it is known as Typhoon Vamco. This has been a very devastating flood. This has been like but the most devastating one that Isabella in the Philippines has experienced in like 50 years. And there's like 144,000 people that have been affected by it. At least part of the city has been submerged at this time. There's water levels that are hitting at least the first floor of many homes, first story floor, or if not close to the second floor or story of these homes. The Philippines itself has already gone through something very horrific. As you know, the coronavirus is still very prevalent, and they reached like 400,000 confirmed coronavirus cases so far, and like in closing in, I believe on 8,000 people that have died due to the coronavirus. And now to add insult to abject misery, they are currently having to contend with something that is very devastating. And my understanding is there's at least 37 confirmed dead as a result of this typhoon. And the thing about this is what was so bad about this typhoon, and what made it really, not just horrific, but making it very hard to deal with, is that many evacuation centers have been inundated in Isabella, and I believe other parts of the Philippines that have gotten hit by this. And what's happened is, as a result, there's less resources available to these people in this time of need. And they've been basically, many people have been transported to dry land as a result of this. But I don't really know, as far as this dry land, if it's like desolate areas, are they getting a lot of assistance on this dry land? And what I wanted to state and incorporate this in the video, so I don't forget that, of course, if anybody is able to, I encourage people, and I basically implore and beg people to make some kind of contribution for relief for this. I don't know if you want to go to like the Red Cross. You want to find a reputable site that will accept some kind of payment or relief from this, because remember, you don't have to actually go to the location to actually help people. It can be done right from your home, right on the internet. And this is something, again, that this was like the biggest as far as Isabella goes in like 50 years. As far as the flooding goes, I mean, this has ravaged a very good part of Isabella, and it's inundated so many places right now. And again, what I don't, you can't really overemphasize the fact that they also had to deal with the coronavirus, and are still dealing with it, as the coronavirus is very prevalent right now, and they are closing in, I believe, 8,000 deaths in the Philippines for as far as the coronavirus goes, and they have surpassed 400,000 confirmed cases of the coronavirus at this time. And I'm sure there's many without power and electricity as a result. This people are going to undoubtedly lose their homes as a result of this. And really, this is the time where people need to really reach out and show some kind of support. I understand it's difficult for many to make an overly magnanimous or generous donation, due to the fact there are a lot of people suffering and struggling right now on a monetary level, because, again, going back to the coronavirus, some people have been put out of work as a result of it. There's a lot of people that are in impoverished situations because of the coronavirus. But those that have potential to help, I encourage anyone to actually do so, and try to find some way that you could show support, even if it's like $1 or $5. Every little bit counts, and this is an area that was really, I mean, Isabella has been really hit hard, and I'm not just talking about as far as giving relief just to Isabella, just to where just to support, the devastation in general from as a result of this of Typhoon Vamco or Ulysses, depending on, where you are, where it's what it's going to be called. It's actually been given both names. One, the Ulysses, is by the Philippines. That's how they were. That's their name for. And Vamco seems to be the one that's more universal. That's the one that majority of people are actually calling this typhoon. I mean, could you just imagine and envision what it would be like to be hit by by a typhoon? There's a lot of things that do scare me. Weather conditions. I mean, tornadoes and something like a typhoon would really be something that would certainly put me in a very strong state of fright or trepidation. So I'm just going looking at, there's an online blog about this. I'm going to see if there's anything else on there I would like to add from the that's as far as this blog goes. But they have apparently had some rescue helicopters come for a number of these people in Isabella, and I'm sure in the Philippines in general. It is something that is very obviously very widespread in the area. And this is a time where we have to really, at some point, and this could be the opportune time for many, to put your own, interests aside, your self-centered interests aside, just even for a little bit, and take the time to make the donation and reach out to these people by, even if it's, some nominal amount. It doesn't have to be a big extravagant amount, but just something to show the support, and that you're thinking of these people. And there's no telling, there's a multitude of ways that these people have been impacted. I'm sure if you're talking about flooding that has done everything but submerge homes, I'm sure there's obviously businesses as well in Isabella, other parts of the Philippines that are, basically annihilated and due to this. And there's going to be people that aren't going to be able to work as a result of this, and there's no telling how long it's going to take as far as the recovery period goes. People have to remember not to look at this superficially and on the surface say, oh, a typhoon hit them, okay, they lost their homes, whatever, they'll bounce back. Well, yeah, you can bounce back eventually, but how long is it actually going to take until the flooding actually dissipates and people can restore their homes again? What is actually the process, and and the fact that how much time is this actually going to entail in order to do this? And it's just something where we have to, understand this is not anything to really scoff at. This is a very serious situation. You have like about 144,000 people in Isabella that have been affected by the floods, and this is not something we can scoff at and blow off as something insignificant or trivial. It's a very serious situation, and it's something that certainly can't be taken lightly. And again, I do encourage whoever can actually um, help to actually do something if they can, if they do have the potential to do so. Well, another thing I wanted to add on this is that um, you're talking about, this is a situation which the floods can affect people's health in a detrimental manner, and it could lower the immune system in many people. And if that is the case, of course, there would be more susceptibility to COVID-19, aka the coronavirus. So people have to remember that there's going to be, I mean, there's just a lot of repercussions that people are going to have to deal with as a result of this flooding. So anyway, really don't have much more to say about this at this time, but it's just something to consider as far as reaching out and giving some kind of support if you are able to. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Leonard saying stay well.